You want to be in full time in spirituality. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the question, you want to be in full time in spirituality. That's what your aim of life is. We are already in full time in spirituality. Right? Life is spiritual. Okay. The problem is people don't understand what is real meaning of spirituality. Okay. So that's because most of the concept of spirituality has come from being spiritual means going to some ashram, some dress, okay, some lifestyle. So that is considered spiritual life. So that's actually lifestyle. So say you are, for example, a dancing is a lifestyle, okay, or music is a lifestyle. So it's a way of living. Becoming a monk is a lifestyle, but spirituality is not a lifestyle. Spirituality is life itself. Okay, we confuse between life and lifestyle. Okay, so life means, what is the meaning of life? Okay, so when you say, do you breathe? Take breathe.
Yes.
Right? Do you need a separate time for breathing?
No.
So breathing is integrated with your life. Correct? Walking, eating. Okay? Spiritual life is like that. It is there and integrated with all aspects of our life. This is called spiritual life. People who don't understand this, they split the life into two: material life and spiritual life. Okay? Life cannot be split. Life is only one life. There's no material life and spiritual life. That one life is divine life. Neither material nor spiritual. It's divine life. So can we live the divine life with whatever we are doing all the time is the question. How to do it? Okay. So looking for a spiritual life somewhere, someplace is meaningless. That's okay. It's helpful. For a lifestyle, it's helpful. Right? For example, you are an engineer or a salesman. So that lifestyle is different from life itself. Spirituality has to be looked at as life, here and now, nowhere else. Why? Because spirituality is search for your inner self. Who am I? That who am I you cannot do anywhere. You have to do where you are. Understand? So that way, and who am I? You don't need a separate time also. Anything you are doing can always go back to who am I. Understand? In that sense, spiritual life is here and now. Spiritual lifestyle, becoming a monk and going ashram, is a different thing. Are you clear? So now are you looking for a spiritual life or spiritual lifestyle?
Life.
Spiritual life. Okay. So that is first your input to about your spiritual life itself. Right? So can I make my 24/7 all days throughout the day, all days a week, all of my life a spiritual life?
Yes.
When I make my life spiritual life, then the material life and spiritual life become one. It becomes divine life. Okay. So that's what is life is all about. That's how it can be done. Okay. So then you said, I want to. Is that clear, or is there anything else in this question? Yes, Gayatri. You can stop. Gayatri, next question. Yeah, you can start. Now you said why you want to look for propagation of spirituality. Correct? Understand? What do you mean by propagation of spirituality? Why do you want to do that?
Because there is an imbalance. I always want to be the part of the balance. If there is a higher side of spirituality, I will be in the destruction part.
Okay. So the life, that's a disharmony in life, all around. I want to be part of the contribution to harmony in life.
Yes.
That's what you are saying. So in that sense, I want to propagate spirituality. Okay. So there are two things will happen here. When a sugar is kept somewhere, ants will come. You don't have to say, ask ants to come. How do the ants know? Is there an internet? Is there? Wireless is there? Ants will come. Why? Ants want sugar. Like that, a human being, when he becomes deeply spiritual, people get attracted to him by nature. You don't have to propagate it.
Yes.
Understand? So you become the center where people come and try to connect with you. So there's no propagation here. There's a spreading here. It spreads like a flower. If you keep in a room, the smell of the flower spreads. Like that, a person who is deeply spiritual, his presence spreads. Okay, understand? This is transformation of your inner being. When you transform the inner being, when you become deeply spiritual, naturally peace and love radiate from you. That will attract people. They may not know it's spiritual, but the more and more people get attracted to you. Understand?
But I don't want people to get attracted to us.
No, not attracted to you as a person. It's attracted to the center, the spirituality. See, when you become spiritual, there is no me. That's the meaning of spirituality. It's not a person, right? So you say, I don't want to get attracted to a person. That I don't want to have will go. I want and I don't want will go. Because I want and I don't want is individual center. Becoming spiritual means that individual center loses, drop. So then what will happen? Through the body and mind of that individual, that person, the peace and love will radiate. The body and mind is the instrument. It's not me. Understand? So then what will happen? People will try to come there for benefit. Like sugar, ants will come to sugar. So people are looking for peace and happiness in life, which is very difficult to find. So that's where people will go to people who are deeply spiritual or realized, because there's an inherent attraction. Like ants don't know where sugar is, but still they go. Or the ants somewhere come to know that sugar is there. Similarly, a deeply spiritual person, there's no person, a deeply spiritual being, people would like to be in the company of such people. It gives them joy and peace. Now, just because somebody is deeply spiritual doesn't mean that he knows how to teach. Teaching is different aspect. Teaching is skill. Okay, a person can be deeply spiritual, but may not have the skill to teach. Right? So such person is called saint, santa. There can be saints. So those people go there, they'll take namaskara, they'll get a blessing, but they can't get a teaching. Okay, a spirituality requires a clarity of teaching. That clarity of teaching, when there's a clarity of teaching, people come there to learn. That learning, the teaching ability is very important. Okay, the spirituality is not magic. The spirituality is not miracle. Spirituality is a simple science of consciousness. Somebody who is able to teach in a very clear way, and he himself is transformed, such a person adds a lot of value to the society. A person who is transformed, but he's not able to teach, people come there to take a blessing. They'll get inspired. They'll say, oh, they come there to get some blessing, some benefit. Whereas a person who is not only transformed himself, but he is able to teach the science of transformation, that's called spirituality. Such a person can help many people, because it's no longer a magic, no longer a miracle. Understand? So not only, there are two things are required. One is, I have to transform myself. Then I have to be able to teach that transformation science to people. So teaching ability. So these two things are there. Then spirituality will spread through you. Understand? If you don't have teaching ability, if you can't teach, then people can come and get benefit, some peace and consolation, but they cannot get transformation. Understand? Yes. So that a person who has both these things is called a Mahatma, great soul. A great soul is Shrotriya and Brahmanishta. Brahmanishta means he is establishing Brahman. He himself has become one with Brahman. He is no longer individual. Outside he may look an individual, but he has merged with the Brahman. And such a person only is called Brahmana. Brahmana, nowadays we use the word Brahmana by birth. Brahmana is a person who has become one with Brahman. Okay, he has merged with Brahman. Such a person, first he has to merge. There's no merger, actually he has to recognize oneness with the Brahman. So then he is called Brahmanishta. Then if he is able to teach the science of merging with somebody, merging with Brahman, he is called Shrotriya. Shrotriya means, Shrotriya means one who has the ability to teach. Teacher. Right? So both abilities are required for a transformation of somebody. Otherwise, the transformation will happen. If somebody, let's say, is well versed in scriptures, he is able to read and teach scriptures, but he himself is not transformed, people can learn something. It's like learning a physics or chemistry, but that itself doesn't bring the transformation. Or a person may be Shrotriya, Brahmanishta, but doesn't have the ability to teach. So then also people will come and get a blessing, but they don't know deeper inner realization. When these two combinations are there, then the person will be able to transform people, bring that enlightenment and liberation to people. You are from Calcutta, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was there. Now Ramakrishna Paramahamsa comes in which category? He is realized, Brahmanist. And he is able to teach people in small stories. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's whole life is small stories. He will not teach big beginnings. He will give small examples, very beautiful examples, which touch the people. He has the ability to teach. Okay. If he sits silently, if he doesn't teach, people may come and take a blessing. But then that his teaching in small stories will transform people. So both abilities are required, Shrotriya and Brahmanishta. Now when we speak Shrotriya means Shruti, which is actually Vedanta, Upanishad. Somebody is able to communicate the teachings of Upanishad. Otherwise, people can randomly talk. See, people say, I realize something. Then all it becomes personal experience, it has no value. It has to be science. Right? Science of consciousness. The science of consciousness is called Vedanta. Okay. For example, somebody say, you're going to learn somebody Bharatanatyam. Okay. So now Bharatanatyam, what is the qualification of a Bharatanatyam teacher? First, he himself should dance. Right? He himself should be able to dance. Then also, he should know the science of dancing. Bharata Natyam. Understand? He should know the science of dancing. He should be able to dance and he should be able to teach. These three things are not there and you can't learn. Correct? Same thing happens in spirituality. You should know the science of consciousness. At the same time, you should be realized. Then you should be able to communicate. So these combinations, if somebody comes in somebody, he is called Shrotriya Brahmanishta. This combination is very rare. It doesn't come easily. Okay, very rare indeed is such combination. They are called noble souls, Mahatma. Are you clear? So now there are many sciences in spirituality. There are Yoga Shastra. So many varieties of yogas are there. So many varieties of teachings are there. Its world is full of a supermarket. So many types of spiritualities are there. Okay, understand? Now, all of them will address people at different levels. Vedanta is a very systematic science. It's as good as a physics or chemistry, as well-developed science. Okay, that's the highest form of science. In Vedanta also, there's Advaita Vedanta, Vishishtadvaita, Advaita. So I consider Advaita is a form of, Advaita is the real, the cream of Vedantic teaching. So if you have to teach somebody, you need to know the science by yourself. You have to realize yourself. Then only you will be able to teach. Then only you'll be able to participate in the process of spiritual propagation. Are you clear?
Yes.
So does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. So let us take up the next.